I invited her to church, and she said, yeah, I'm not going to go to your cult church. Second she said that, boom, that was like a big red flag. God was with me through every single step of the way. Never did drugs. I don't drink. Back in the day, I never really got into drinking. I don't even drink now. I have a nice car. I have a nice home. None of that matters. That all goes away. Dust to dust. We come in as dust. We leave as dust. And people remember you not for the car you drive. They don't care about what job you have. They don't care where you live. They don't care what you do. They don't care you have that old air conditioner in your room, which you should probably change, but it's fine. I mean, Hollywood does not glorify God. I'm sorry. I believe that all of that music, all this new pop music, oh, but it sounds so good. Oh, my friends listen to it. Okay, just because you hear it and it's catchy doesn't mean you have to catch on to it. Everyone's trying to just get with everyone, sleep with everyone. It's the right now generation. I want it right now. It's like Amazon. No one's going to help you. You're only going to help yourself. Can you see me?
I do see you, handsome
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A little tired. Do I have to do filters and effects and all that crap or no?
If you want, you can look cute for everybody on.
It's fine. Just a heads up before this is live now or no?
This is pre-recorded. No, it's live. It's live.
It's live?
No, it's pre-recorded.
Oh, okay. If my mother comes in yelling, you better like take that out. That's all I'm saying. There's a very good chance that'll happen.
Well, you didn't tell her you were busy. You were on a business call.
No,
You said
it's
you should.
okay. No, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
It's bound to happen, but it's okay.
A-
It makes it lively.
Anything for mom, right?
Anything for mom.
All right. So we are recording, and so, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Tomasino is a professional, world-class photographer.
Thank
So,
you.
of course, based on Long Island, and he shot several celebrity shoots and concerts, really big concerts. And Dan, I'll let you kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got into photography to start off.
So I started with photography back in probably say middle school. Took it more seriously in high school. I listened to the Oak Ridge Boys my whole life, was a big fan of them. And one day I was taking pictures with my camera at one of the concerts, and I guess I mustered up enough, like, I don't know, something in me to like go up and approach them and be like, hey, can I send you a couple of shots? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I ended up sending them a couple of pictures when I was like a young kid, and they said, these are pretty good. Regardless if they were good or not, I was pretty hyped. And they said, why don't you come backstage next year? And I couldn't believe it. I didn't even think it was going to happen. But little did I know, we were backstage the following year, and it was great. And I started. They really helped me massively with concert photography. Joe Bonzol, mainly, he was the main one. Um, just the nicest guy. Anything to help you out. He's the go-to guy to help you with anything, connections with people, with anything at all. He was just fantastic. Going up to like management, you got Kathy there. She's one of their main contacts in management who I deal with too. They're just great. So I started with them. Then I shot Kenny Rogers. I shot Boz Sags. I shot Dolly Parton. All these people from mainly from the connections with the Oak Ridge Boys. I would say did a lot of stuff with Gaither Vocal Band, um, mostly country, contemporary Christian, jazz type genres. That's really what I'm into. So that's pretty much what I go after. That's fun. Um, so I really like hitting the concert photography side of it, I would say. But I do weddings, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, all that other fun stuff also. So
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. So you're not one to get starstruck, right? You've told me that before that
Mm-mm.
you're not a you don't fanboy or geek out when you shoot these people, right? These celebrities that you're shooting.
Nope, not even celebrity. Well, granted, celebrity, I would say, but a little different from concert photography. I photographed David Beckham before, which quite frankly, I didn't know who he was until I was on the shoot. And then I said, I know who this guy is. And I got great shots with him. And working with famous people is a lot of fun. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just people just like you and me. They've just got a talent and they pushed it and they went with it. And that's why they're in the spot they're in my opinion, you know. But it's interesting because you see a lot of people from all different music genres and just even out of the music, the concert scene who are famous and who are the ones that genuinely have a heart and treat people nice, you know, and kind, and who are there's definitely ones that are not that I've ran into. And it's just all about being with the good people and just spreading the good word and the good news and just I don't know, just being kind to one another, and that's what I like, and that's what makes country music, that's what makes the contemporary Christian music stand out. I did a bunch of stuff with Michael Tate from Newsboys. I did stuff with Alicia Williamson. She's with the Gaither Vocal Band. There's just I mean, people on top of people with names that I could just go on and on about. But I mean, Kirk Whalum, he's huge. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's a famous saxophone player. Absolutely phenomenal. The kindest heart ever. Just they're just genuine, nice people, and I like to do a bunch of work with them. And it's very rewarding. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Awesome. So yeah, so tell me kind of a little bit about what you kind of learned other than, you obviously got the shooting side and you're shooting these celebrities, you're shooting these concerts. Have you learned anything else through kind of shooting, like networking? Have you been able to talk to these people? Have they ever told you anything
Absolutely,
about career advice? Yeah, sure.
absolutely, absolutely. So mostly I would really say the Christian and country, they're more open to talking and discussing and making friendships, and being kind. So like all these people that I photographed, definitely not all of them I keep in contact with, but a really nice handful. I would say at least 80% of the people who I photographed, I would call it that I'm genuinely friends with them. I mean, from band management to managers, and there's some really genuine nice people, and again there's some that are not, but the ones that are, I mean, you just develop friendships with these people. I mean, I have a handful of them on my Facebook. You see them grow as like they have families, kids, and everything, and they're just human beings like you and me at the end of the day. It's just nice to like, I don't know if support is the word, but like to encourage what they do because they encourage what I do, and it's nice. And I don't know if that answered the question that well, but it's fun.
You answered it pretty well.
Yeah.
So tell me kind of how you got, because you talked about like the Christian concerts that you got involved in. I know you're very big on religion. Have you always been like that? Was that from, did your mom give you that? How'd that
Not
happen?
big on religion. It's not a religion. It's a relationship. That's where everyone gets confused. So you could be Catholic, you could be Protestant, you could be non-denominational, you could be, I don't know, Seventh-day Adventist, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, it's a personal relationship that you have to have. So but back to your question. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yes, you're very big on your relationship with God.
Correct.
First, how did that come about? Is that from your family? Where did that come from? Did you go to church growing up, or?
Went to church here and there growing up. It really wasn't in the church, I would say, because you could really find God anywhere if you want my honest opinion. I mean, hear some people, they go through pretty some traumatic stuff when they grow up and like with whatever situation, and they say, "Oh, I found the Lord," this and that, which is great. I never really necessarily had a traumatic childhood besides working for, but that's another story. You might want to edit that out, but
Oh, well.
but I never really had a traumatic experience as a kid per se, but it's just every single thing that I have is because of him. The connections that I have, the friends I have, the family. I have a great family. I have great friends. I mean, life is going to be hard. I mean, nothing in life is going to be perfect and easy and chummy, and like, I mean, some things are, but like you're going to go through like trials and tribulations. But what does it say? Take heart, I've overcome the world. So you're gonna, as long as you have that faith and you know that he'll be with you no matter what storms you face, no matter what you go through. I mean, I know one of the topics we discussed was girls, and I will go into that in depth if need be, but I've been through some crazy stuff, and thank God that stuff is over and done with, and we're here. And
To that.
we just might. Look at that little smile. You look so nice when you smile.
Thank you, my friend. I got a face for TV. What can I say?
You do. Definitely do.
Or the internet. Um,
Yeah,
but I wanted to get into that because I remember you talking about how you were in. If you want to talk about this, you can talk about this if you don't.
sure.
You were in an accident not too
Yes.
long ago. Yeah, what happened with that?
Yes, yes, yes. So I was in a car accident. I was I hate talking about it, but it's okay. I was in Freeport and I was getting gas in my dad's car, and on the way home, and the light turned green on my end, and about 5 seconds later, I started to slowly accelerate, and was really dark at night, probably about like 8 o'clock at night, if I remember correctly. And from the left hand corner, a guy blew right through the red light. So it was technically, I believe it was like red on his end for whatever 8 plus 6 is. I'm not good at math, so whatever that is, that's how long
14.
went through, hit the car. Um, Pretty traumatic situation. Just a slight PTSD from that, I would say, which we're trying to overcome. But messed up my neck, messed up part of my upper, like I guess back, you could say. But again, not to bring God into everything, but to bring God into everything, God's good, because if it was a couple seconds more, it would have been in the door and I would have been paralyzed or dead. That's what the cops said. You know, EMTs came on scene. It was it was crazy. Before you know, I was in the hospital. It was kind of nuts. But
And that was that.
I guess that was that.
Yeah, and you're still here, and we're all happy about that.
Still here, all happy. If anyone knows of any lawyers, feel free to hit up Mr. Daniels here and let me know.
Plug your socials at the end of this.
Yeah,
But well, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, obviously, your profession as a photographer, but you also have like a lot of interesting opinions about certain things. One of that being
dude.
religion or a relationship with God. We're gonna correct my
No,
language,
that's
but it
fine. We can
means
say religion. That's okay. That's fine.
no, well, because most I find that a, a lot, at least nowadays, I feel like you don't see that as much or as openly. I don't
You
know
do
if
not.
yeah,
You do
and
not.
I want to know what are your opinions on that? Do you think why do you think that is?
Why do I think that is? I think that it's the direction that the world is going in. That's why. If you want my honest opinion, I personally believe that we're living in the end times. And everyone says, "Oh, you didn't even take a drink. You just put that drink right down. That
No.
went right up, went right down." But anyway, um, no, I mean you could say, "Oh, I heard it from my grandparents. Oh, we're living in the end times, the end times." And I mean we could bring Billy Graham into this, and he always said too, straight from the Bible, these are the last days, and the way that the world is going, the way how every single thing is accepted, I mean, you allow sin to come into your life, it's going to overtake you, it's going to distort the minds, and it's just, I mean, you could bring government into it, there's really no need to, but I mean, you could bring so much stuff into it, it's just really just know where you stand. I mean, when the rapture happens, which by the looks of it is probably going to happen soon, in my opinion. I mean, are you ready? Are you prepared? Is your house set? Because he's coming back for the bride. What is the bride? The bride is the church. The church of the people. That's who he's coming back for. And I mean, it's something that a lot of people say, "Oh, you're young. I just turned 31 years old last week." So thank you for telling me happy birthday, you jackass. But it's okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But but no, it was everyone's like, "Oh, just sleep with this one. Oh, just hook up with this one. Oh, this and that and this." Can I? Yeah. Where's it getting me anywhere? Nah, because the joy that you have in God when you're doing the right thing, you can't put drugs on that. You can't put alcohol on that. You can't put partying on that. None of that. None of that fills that void that only God could provide and that like He gives. And to the people who don't believe, it sounds crazy and it makes no sense. But I would try it before you knock it or say, "Oh, it was for me, but I love this." You have to let go of that. If He says it's not right, whatever's in the Bible, that's so old. Don't listen to that. But you got to listen to it because that's the like our instruction man. I don't want to say instruction manual, but those are the rules to live by. The 12 commandments, all that stuff too. Um, I believe in the Old Testament just as much as the New Testament. I mean, it follows one into the other. I mean, personally, I have not read the entire Bible. My goal is to read the entire Bible. I've read many parts of it. But in the back of the book, if you read the back of the book, we win. So at the end of the day, why let fear, anxiety, depression overtake your mind? Because he says he'll be with us, and yeah, we're going to face trials and tribulations and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're rooted in Christ and you put your trust in him, you're going to be saved and everything will be all right. And yeah, you're going to go through some tough times, but with him being there, I mean, it's such a peace. I mean, the peace that passes all understanding. I mean, I can't even explain it. It's just I don't have words. I'm trying to find words. It comes and it's the best thing ever. It really is.
What denomination Christianity are you?
What denomination am I? I am Christian non-denominational. It is so it's a non-denomination. It means that it's not we follow this, we follow this, we do this, we do that, we do that, we do this, which is fine. But I believe it's not ritual based, you don't have to do like the this and all that stuff so many times, and like it's not repetitive. For example, the Catholic Church is very repetitive. You say your same prayers over and over and over and over again, which is fine, but in the Bible, why it says why be a repetitive, like God doesn't need to hear those repetitive prayers. Not that he doesn't need to, but why be repetitive over and over and over again? He knows what you're thinking, he knows what you need before you even ask him. So to go and to devote all that time sitting there, I mean, I'm not bashing church. Church is great. Don't get me wrong, but I go to church personally, and it's great. But it's always different. It's always straight from the Bible, in my opinion. I mean, it's really great, and yeah,
When did you start really becoming devout in terms of your beliefs? Was that
I would say seriously, I was dating a girl, and this is gonna get me maybe in trouble,
cool?
but her name was Brianna, and she was a great girl. I dated her during Superstorm Sandy. And
2012.
yeah, never really understood why I was dating her in the first place, to be frankly honest with you.
This is
But
so you were what, in college or college aged?
1 year after high school. So
Okay.
I personally didn't go to college, but it was 1 year after high school, and filled with God. She was definitely a child of God. She was a great girl, and she brought
Catholic girl?
peace. Christian, to my knowledge, Christian girl. She brought peace in the middle of a crazy time, and she always brought God back into my life. And even though everything's going wrong, she was always there and helped me with to remember my faith. And she always sent me songs, and it was always I don't know. I was very grateful for that, and everything happens for a reason. I mean, we're not together anymore, which is fine because dating a really great girl, to be honest with you. But like that was back then. But like I mean, that really, I would say that started. I wouldn't say it was her that started it, but I would say that going through difficult times, and even really even before that too. But that was really when I really knew that, like, all right, this is what I got to do. But I was never really good in school. Didn't really understand school that much. Always kind of skipped school. I don't want to say skip school, but I didn't really go to classes and stuff. I mainly hung out like in like woodworking. I really enjoyed doing that. I like doing photography, so I was always in the photography class. Um, but what brought me close, I mean, it wasn't necessarily a situation. It was just everything built up over time where I can't do this on my own. I need help. And then that's when I opened my heart to God. And did I fail? Of course I did. Everyone's going to fail, and I'm not perfect. And I sit here and I might sound like I'm very gung ho about it, which I am. Don't get me wrong, but like I still fail. I'm not perfect, but I try my best to be. You know,
Right. What are your thoughts on, and I want to come back to, we'll get back to the girl part, but I want to
so
come, what are your thoughts on different religions? Obviously every religion
Oh,
has
I,
their own
I have. So
scripture.
what I really love, I love cooking, right? So I love trying all different kinds of like cuisines from like all around the world. I do a lot of barbecuing. I could do a lot of stuff. Really, I do some stuff on the stove, but mostly barbecuing. I really enjoy that. And I have friends of all different nationalities, all different races. And we cook
Cool.
different food all the time, and I believe that that's what God brings people together. Food brings people together, and I have many respect for everyone's different opinions and religions, and I would never bash someone else's religion. I actually find them interesting. But if you want to go back to God, I mean, you could say like Buddha, people that believe in Buddha, right? He didn't rise again, die and rise again. He's not coming back. You could say like all these other people, that people bow down, worship to, this and that. In the Bible, no other idols before me. I'm the one true living God. So, I mean, I have friends who are Indian. I have friends who are Chinese, and they believe in what they believe in, and that's cool. And I would never push it down anyone's throat. I mean, I definitely make it known what I believe in, because at the end of the day, it says, "Go ye therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit." So that's what I believe that we're meant to do, and really evangelize and just spread the word. That's what I believe, and I try to do that as much as I possibly can. Um, and I really would love to do it more, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with who Billy Graham is, but he's great. I really. truly would love to be the next Billy Graham. If I had that opportunity, I would drop everything and do that 100% if that opportunity came about, because that would be like an answered prayer, a blessing came true. I'm able to talk to pretty much any person. You know, I'm not stage fright. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I love talking to people. And if I could share the good news with people, I think that'd be great. But I've been praying about it, seeing if that's the direction I should go in. But I would love to jump into evangelism. I think that would be great.
Gotcha. So in terms of your photography career, you're 31
Mhm.
now. Are you where you want to be? What do you want to do more of, or do you believe there's more to what you want to do? You shot a lot of cool stuff, so
I have no idea. And
that's
I'm
all
going to tell you why.
right. Okay.
The whole world has a plan. The whole world says you're going to go to school, then you're going to go to college, and then you're going to get a good job, and then you're going to do this and that and that and this, which is all great. And I'm not bashing that. But for me, it's always been different. I was photographing weddings when I was in high school, and I was making a decent living off of doing that in high school. I was shooting weddings. Everyone's like, "You're kind of young." Yeah, I'm kind of young, but they saw my portfolio. They're like, "Wow, this is actually pretty good." I'm like, "Thanks." And back then, I didn't think I was the best of the best, and even now, I don't think I'm the best of the best. I definitely think I'm good, but it really made me realize that college maybe isn't for everyone. You know, and it's not for me, because I have some of my friends who never went to college, and I have some friends who did go to college, and I mean, it's kind of a, I don't want to say hit or miss, but I would say it's definitely not for everyone, you know? So if it's not really your thing, or if you have a calling to do something that you love or that God called you to do, I would 100% run with it. But back to your question, which I just forgot was what, because I don't want to get off track.
My question was, where you want to be in life right now?
To answer that question honestly, I think I'm where God wants me to be at this moment in my life, because I still am. That's really a good question. I
Thank you.
mean,
You're professional.
that's a great question. I mean, I definitely, don't get me wrong, I would love to be married and have kids, and that'll all come one day. And I have my own business, and I would like that to expand and get um, more out there and work with more people, you know. But yeah, I would say where I need to be. Coming from an outsider looking in, would say, "Oh, you're 31, you're not married, you don't have kids, you don't have a 401k, you don't have this and that." So a lot of people would disagree with that, but I'm pretty content with where I'm at. I need to definitely change things, absolutely, but I think I'm doing all right, I would say.
We're gonna take a break so you can open the lights in your room because I know it's gonna get darker and darker as we keep talking. So
Let's open some lights
yeah.
then. That sounds like a plan.
So to that point, what do you think the difference is between somebody like you who, you're doing okay, but you could be doing more, but you have a strong belief. You have a strong belief in God as your camera goes up. You have
My apologies. I
you're
fixed my brightness. That was my
you're
apologies. But yeah.
you're fine. So you have a strong belief in God. What do
Mhm.
you think that would be the difference between you and somebody who maybe is completely agnostic or completely just atheistic and in your same position? What do you think the difference is between the two life positions?
The
Like, or how would your life be different right now if you were like an atheist, for example?
I would be dead.
Heard.
100%.
Heard.
The
Now,
decisions that I made back in the day, God was with me through every single step of the way. And I wasn't making bad decisions, never did drugs. I don't drink. Back in the day, I never really got into drinking. I don't even drink now. But am I still on?
you're good. Yeah, this
That's
is good.
incredible, because my friend is calling me, which is, I thought it was going to knock out the video, but my apologies. But we're good. If you can still see me, I'll keep going.
It stopped for
But
a second, but came back.
all right. But what is different? You would say what would make someone
Between
different than
you,
me?
yeah, between you and basically you if you were an atheist or somebody else who was similar life position who was
I
an
would be
atheist.
suffering, and I would be dealing with depression. I would be dealing with anxiety, and I would be dealing with I can't even imagine. I really I can't. It would be very bad. It would be very very bad. And I can't imagine the people that are out there. I mean, it's lost souls. You know, it's just you just gotta need you gotta trust in God and come home, and the things that the doors he could open for you. I mean, every single thing I have. I mean, I have a nice car, I have a nice home, I have nice things, you know, but none of that matters. That all goes away, dust to dust. We come in as dust, we leave as dust, you know? And it's what really matters in life is how you treat people. And people remember you not for the car you drive. They don't care about what job you have. They don't care where you live. They don't care what you do. They don't care you have that old air conditioner in your room, which you should probably change, but it's fine. I mean, I mean, listen, it is what it is, you know. But people remember you. But people listen. People remember you for how you treated them, you know. And did you treat them with kindness and love and respect? Did you help them when they were down, you know? Did you tell them that they had asbestos in their air conditioner, you know? I mean, it
Bro,
is what it is.
Austin.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to help a brother out. But
It's gonna be iconic
it's gonna be iconic. We're gonna.
until I change it.
Uh,
Fuck. You know what? Anyway,
you
I'm
know
gonna
what?
move
This
on.
is over. We're done.
No, I'll get you when you start talking about when we start talking about some other topics.
Sounds good.
But yeah, to that point, do you think in the media, because I see this a lot in terms of symbolism of whatnot. I don't know
Hmm.
how much you pay attention to the music industry or Hollywood or things
Hmm.
like that. I see a lot of depictions of kind of like things that one would consider satanic, and then there's always
Oh,
conspiracy theories.
absolutely, absolutely. Which is 100% why I do not deal with modern music. I don't really listen to modern music. I mean, if you're allowing that in your mind, those thoughts in your mind, those songs in your mind, don't get me wrong. I personally really liked Future. I don't know if you're familiar with him,
Yes, I like,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Great music. I shouldn't even be saying great music, but I feel he's talented.
It is good
I
music.
I enjoy his music, but if you take a step back and listen to the words, it does not align with God, right? It doesn't align with how we should be living. It's you're not smoking, getting high, and fucking girls. I mean, if you really dig deep into it, it's why are you listening to that? Why are you doing that? And this is a great question. I mean, think about this. Really good friend of mine, her mom is the I don't know if she still is, but she was the head entertainment, something with entertainment of Rock Nation, ROC Nation. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yes.
DJ Khaled D is on there. You got Snoop Dogg. I don't know if they're still there, but when I did research back then, all of them were on. Could have got right in. I had a connection. Could have photographed that. I would have been all around the world doing so much stuff with all these artists. And at the time, I definitely prayed about it. And I said, should I go down this road? Should I do this or not? And I remember very well that hearing or a vision, hearing, whatever it may be, was that yeah, you could do it. Yeah, you would get big from it, but is it glorifying me at the end of the day? And Hollywood does not glorify God. I'm sorry. I believe that all of that music, all this new pop music, oh, but it sounds so good. Oh, my friends listen to it. Oh, but that's what they play at the gym. Oh, I hear it in the food store. Okay, just because you hear it and it's catchy doesn't mean you have to catch on to it. And, I mean, it all depends. But I really I don't work with artists like that. I wouldn't talk bad about them, but like I just don't associate with that,
Right. Do you believe there's a reason that it's like that? That
100%.
why do you think that is?
Because the devil is alive and active and prowls all around this earth. And he's just as active as God is active, and he's gonna come, kill I messed up. He's gonna come in, right? You get a little crack, he's just going to slip in, right? Whatever it may be. It could be drinking, it could be sex, it could be pornography, it could be whatever. Whatever your weakness is, he knows, and he's going to go after that. And it could be anything. It could be liking boys, it could be liking girls. I mean, I'm not going to dig deep into that because people a little touchy feely subject there, but it's he's going to come in, kill, steal, and destroy, and that's what's happening in the music world. Um, with not all the music world, but some of it. You're a thirsty boy today.
June's going to be coming up. They're going to come for you after this podcast, man.
Listen, I mean, maybe. I mean, we'll see. But like, I had an opportunity to work with Taylor Swift actually, and
Really?
yeah, I thought she was pretty cool. Her music was great. She used to do stuff with Keith Urban. He was in the music, country music, but she still is. I was dating a girl at the time. Her name was Gina. Great girl. Um, she loves Taylor Swift. We could have gotten backstage VIP everything because I the photographer I would have got her in. It would have been great, what have you.
How long ago
Um,
was this?
this was mm, maybe 8 years ago when I had that opportunity.
Okay. So you're dating her and you guys are at a concert and this is around the
We
time you're
weren't at a concert, and we kind of weren't really dating, but we we were definitely best friends at the time. Actually, maybe we were dating. I don't know, something like that. But I don't really
okay.
know how to explain it. She was an interesting one. Out of all the girls, she was the most interesting one out of
A
all them. But
situationship?
not really. But she was. I don't know. She was great. But she loved Taylor Swift, so I
Okay.
figured let's make it happen. And it just wasn't aligning with what I believed in. I mean, I could have easily done stuff and photographed and got great shots of her, but at the end of the day, if it's not aligning with what I believe in, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I can't. You know?
What was what was it particular? Was it the type of music? I mean, most of her music is about breakups, right? I think
Yeah,
so, in terms of
but it's very it's. I don't want to say it's demonic because I really don't like putting stuff like that out there, but she, you hear like, well, what's her name? Katy Perry or whoever it was sold the soul to the devil or whatever. They say all this stuff, and like people do that. And you could jump on a ride with the devil, and he'll give you the whole world. He'll give you whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're going to hell. You're not being saved. And you could pop your eyes out and laugh all you want, but it's the truth.
no, no.
You could be the best news reporter. You could drive a freaking Porsche, the best. Not that I'm bashing Porsche. Porsche is great, and I look forward to owning one day. But I mean, you could have the mansions and the homes and all the girls and this and that and the best this and the best that. At the end of the day, you don't got God in your life. You got nothing. That's it. That's what I feel, and that's what I believe.
And you're have a right to your belief. One day we'll race Porsches and I'll beat you.
Maybe so.
Not gonna challenge me on that. You're just gonna take it. All right.
I'll take it. I think that'd be enjoyable.
All right. So I'll beat you in a race with Porsches.
Have you ever seen a Haitian NASCAR driver? I haven't, so I beg to differ on on your statement there. But you
Listen,
wanna
listen.
you
No,
wanna
I've
put
never.
false hope out there? Go for it.
All right. In 5 years, well, you can have the Porsche. I'll take like a Lambo or something, and
That's fine. That's fine.
I think
That
we'll
works.
right, and we'll race. See what happens.
Sounds
But
good.
so I wanted to pivot a little bit, because we did speak kind of we kind of went into a little bit about kind of Hollywood. Do you believe because they say that if you take an easy path to success, usually you end up paying for that in the end. And some people sell their souls because usually that means quick success. Do you believe that does that ever come? Because you see all these celebrities.
You see them too. I mean, I've never thought about it. I mean, truthfully, I don't really like to think in that realm per se because there's a demonic realm and there's a heavenly realm, right? And there's definitely bad spirits, there's angels. I believe in angels. I believe they're all around us. I believe certain people could be angels. You don't know who you encounter. We could be encountering angels. I believe in that. But yet again, are you doing things you shouldn't be doing? Are you looking at things you shouldn't be looking at? Are you living a lifestyle that isn't pleasing unto God, And listen, I'm not putting down, excuse me, I'm not putting down the people that drink. You want to drink? Drink. I'm not saying you're bad if you do that, but you have to,
Somebody called you.
yeah, my phone goes off 24/7. It's really interesting. I started dating this girl a couple weeks ago, actually. Great girl. And we're eating, and my phone rang like 4 times. And she's like, "Who keeps calling you?" And it was 4 different people, and it's just nonstop. My phone just keeps going off, and I apologize.
Was the other
But
girls?
no, it wasn't other girls. Well, one of them was my friend. Well, but not like that. It was just my friend. It wasn't. Yeah, that was it. But
I had to get you back.
it's fine. It caused a little bit of commotion. She got upset. She said, "Who is this? Is this? It's all right. Don't worry about it." But it's
Just
fine.
just a friend.
Just a friend. If it's a friend, it's just a friend. That's it. I don't play that game.
Respectable. Well, that falls in line with kind of your devout and belief in God. So
Yeah.
so with that. So you said, I mean, the first experience that you kind of had becoming devout in religion had to do with a girl, and you have had a few experiences with girls, and you are single right now. But if you kind of want to,
I
not
am not, because if you would have been paying attention, which clearly you weren't, you're stuck on drinking your drink there, which is fine. I said I was dating a new girl and that my phone went off 4 times when we were eating and she got upset.
this is the
This is a
current
current one,
girlfriend.
which I actually never really filled you in on, but it's okay. It kind of happened out of the blue, to be honest with you, but it was, I
Well,
think
let's
this
talk about
one's, I think this one's really good. We could talk about it. I
it.
don't know if
Let's
she's
talk
going to
about
be
it.
happy about it, but we can, because it's kind of new, but we could talk about it.
I mean, let's fast forward since you started with girls, so we'll go through the timeline of Dan Tomasino's relationship life. Kind of, what have you learned? What have
We'll
you
see
learned?
about that. We'll
What have you
see.
what have you kind of learned as I fix the camera here? What have you kind of learned through your 20s, I guess you would say? I mean, the dating world is crazy nowadays.
Dating world is absolutely crazy, totally crazy. For the people who are single, good luck. I mean, it's so it's really
Thanks.
hard. It's really hard because everyone's trying to just get with everyone, sleep with everyone. It's a right now generation. I want it right now. It's like Amazon, you know? It's like you order something, boom, it's there on your doorstep the next day, you know? Like, I don't know. But
What have you kind of learned? I mean, you're 30 now. What did you kind of learn
31.
in your 30s?
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, what did you learn in your 20s that you said this girl that you're with now seems really nice? What have you kind of learned throughout your experiences dating when you were in your 20s?
If you're dating worldly girls, it's not gonna work. It's gonna break your heart.
Elaborate on that. What does that mean for for the young audience?
Any girl that's gonna want to sleep with you right away, not good, right? Any girl that just wants to get drunk and whatever, just drink and just party, not good, right?
So
There's
no
it's
party
just
girls.
there's so many things to go on and on about. I mean, I'm not saying that like it's bad to party or it's bad to drink per se. I mean, it's just it's if that's the first thing you're going after, you know, you go out with someone and then just boom, you sleep with them in that night or the next night. What are you doing? You know?
Counterpoint. Can you take those girls and lead them to the light?
That's what I thought with my last ex girlfriend. She was a great girl. I really, really was hoping to do that with her. I'm Italian, if you can't tell with the accent and the ginormous nose. She
We
was,
know. We know.
we know. She was Italian too, really great girl, but from the world. And I could, no matter how much I tried, I mean, it just wasn't it.
And how many relationships ago was that?
That was one relationship ago. My previous
Was the
relationship,
last one?
which ended 8, 9 months ago.
Okay. So she really made you believe that you can't change these girls.
No, you can't. You definitely can't. You
All right.
can't. You could try, but they have to be willing, you know?
What are some lessons that women have taught you, either in relationships or not? You can maybe just any woman in general. Could be your mom.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Um, that's really a good question.
Professional.
I know. Um, any good lessons?
Women
We might.
can't. I guess women don't teach him anything.
No, I mean, we might have to come back to that question because that's a great question. I just really, I truthfully, I mean, I've learned a lot, but I really got to think of exactly what to say, and we'll come back to that. I think we'll come back to that.
All right. He's not a misogynist, folks. He
No.
just think. Um, so we'll come back to that question. I
Hmm.
wanted to talk a little bit about this because this connected a little bit about God because you were in an accident and you said that your belief in God really, really kind of helped you through that when you were in your accident.
Yeah.
Uh, how are you feeling health wise right now?
What do you want, like a number? Like 8 out of 10? Like what are you trying to get at here?
How you feeling? Are you feeling good? Does it hurt to wake up?
No, I mean, I mean, a little since you didn't wish me a happy birthday, but I mean, it is what it is. We put the past behind us and we keep moving forward, you know. But I mean, it's all right. I mean, my back does bother, my neck bothers me. I mean, yeah, going down, and everyone's pushing the surgery, and I don't think that's necessary, but
You need a
we'll
better doc.
see
You need a
day
better
by
doc.
day. But
You need a better doc.
find me a better doctor these days. All these doctors are freaking drug dealers. Find me a doctor. You got a good primary care physician? I'll go.
Well, you know what? That segues perfectly because you have a lot of opinions about medicine.
I have a lot of opinions about medicine, and I'm actually dating a doctor now, so I really got to watch what I say, but I can go off a little bit into it. I can,
Is that
hands
an
down.
ice? Is that an iced tea?
A brisk iced D.
They don't.
Iced D. Ha, iced tea. Yeah.
They don't sponsor me. Put that down.
Yeah,
This is water, by the way. Since we're talking about health,
interesting.
yeah,
Nothing like fancy bottled expensive water, right?
it's can.
Right. But it looks fancy. It looks fancy.
It is. It is. It's Italian. Two free plugs, and I'm not going to get any money out of this.
Not bad.
But yeah. So it's because we're on the topic of health, it's
Hmm.
just so yeah. So tell me a little bit about kind of like your opinions on American healthcare and American medicine. What are your thoughts on that? You've been through the system. You were recently in a situation. So what are your opinions on that? Because I know you have a few.
No one's going to help you. You're only going to help yourself.
That's a running theme I've heard from all other people that I've asked that
Doctors
question.
don't care. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some doctors who care. There's some that don't. So I kind of take that back. But the majority of doctors that I went to, they're in it for the money and they're not in it for helping people. Also, if you really think about this too, your doctors make money off of seeing you, right? You have blood pressure, right? They're going to see
Correct.
you. They're going to treat you for that. You have thyroid. They're going to see you. They're going to treat you for that. You have cancer. You have diabetes. You can't. You got to be careful when you throw that word cancer because this video will get shut down if you start talking about that. So we're not going to because we're trying to keep it nice now, I guess. But
But who's really gonna see it?
you're
I don't.
interviewing me. This is going to go to a lot of people. This is not going to get like 30 views, 40 views. I mean, you're going to see, but it's okay. But no, it's I mean, if how do you if you heal people, right? If you're a doctor, if you're a great doctor, then you would I don't want to say you're healing them, but you would lead them down a path of recovery. And the end goal is to be better and not have this problem. But instead, they they keep you coming back, right? Just like a drug dealer would, right? So a healed patient is a lost patient. They're not coming back to you once they overcome their cancer. They're not coming back to you once you get them off the diabetes medicine. They're not coming back to you once you get their thyroid hormones, all of that stuff regulated. So I have a lot of opinions regarding the healthcare system. So to just go off, it would be a tangent. But if you have any main questions, I'm happy to
Yeah. Do
ask
you?
them. I mean, a strong first one would be definitely going back to what we were stating before, would be constantly to change your air conditioner filters, preferably HEPA filters, HEPA, which filter out all the bad and like allow the good air to come through.
Doesn't work, by the way.
Shout out to Frigidaire Air Conditioning that they should sponsor you with an air conditioner, but it's okay.
I think that's a. I think it's a carrier.
If you ever want me to help you, I'm happy to come over one day and put in a new air conditioner. We'll take that one out, put
Can you
that
do
one
that?
in. Honestly, within like 20 minutes, we'll do it. If you want, all jokes aside, let me know and I'll come and we'll do it.
Oh, beautiful. See, now it's gonna. You know what? I think people are gonna start liking it now. Now I'm not gonna be able to replace it. The nozzle's broken. That's why it's unplugged. Because if I plug it in, it'll turn on.
Is your nozzle broken?
But I just said the nozzle's broken.
Is your nozzle broken?
I don't know what that means. See, right? My nozzle works fine, but I don't know I don't know what you're referencing, but my nozzle's fine. It works. It
Praise
does
God.
it does the job.
Thank the Lord. Let's go.
Alrighty. So, do you think
Hands down, you definitely beat me in that department. Going back to the car situation, I just want to let you know, hands down. I mean, listen, I mean, there's some things in life that, like, when you know it, it's just some. Next question.
I just big broed you? Oh my God. Um, so the American healthcare system.
Yes, the
Um,
American healthcare
do you
system.
believe the problems that you discussed are they uniquely to America, or are they a worldwide thing? And maybe if you don't know enough about, healthcare systems around the world, but
Truthfully, don't know too much out of America. I mean, I have family in Italy. I have good friends in Greece. I know that their healthcare is a little different than ours. Can't speak too much on theirs because I'm not too familiar with it. It's just based off of stuff I've heard. Um, but No, they want to keep you sick. They definitely want to keep you sick. If you look up in the sky, the clouds didn't look like what you looked like when you were a kid. They're chemtrails. There's chemicals falling on us from the sky every single day. You turn on your tap water, God knows what's in there. You're in the shower. What is coming? What type of water is that? I mean, there's pesticides sprayed all over your food, organic or not. I don't care. Um, it's sad. It's very sad. People are not going to heal. People don't get better. My dad loves grapes. We go to the food store. We buy grapes. Guess what? Grapes are supposed to be seeded. They don't have them anymore. Also, watermelon. You people like watermelon. My people like watermelon too. I gotta be honest. Calm down. Calm down. Gotta stay refreshed in the summertime. Brothers and sisters, and everyone's gotta be refreshed. But just hear me, but just hear me out for a second. Where are you going to find seeded watermelons? You don't. Where are you going to find them?
I like the seedless watermelons.
They're bad for you.
They're
They
good.
don't. They don't give you the health benefits.
I don't
They
like choking
don't.
on. I don't like to choke on the seeds.
They're good for you.
All right, but the seedless ones, there's less hassle.
Okay, but you're getting a more bigger benefit from it.
All right. Well, fair enough. How do people avoid? How do people stay healthy? How do people stay healthy, considering all the things that you say are working against them?
Prayer, number one.
Okay.
Number two, get enough sleep. Number three, you want to ground every single day. What does ground mean? That means go outside in your backyard or in front of your house, unless you live in the hood. We don't want to go outside in the front of our house, but we're going to take our shoes off, right? And we're going to walk on the grass, right? You just because there's electrons and it's living, right? We're meant to be connected to the earth. But no, what happens? They created shoes, plastic, right? And whatever, plastic, rubber, whatever you want to call it, I guess rubber, right?
What kind
Which
of
is
shoes are those?
preventing you from that contact, And I really believe go to the beach, take your shoes off, walk in the water, walk on the sand, and if you go, what do they do in China? I think it's China or Japan, I believe. There's doctors and they say they give you they give you passes to national parks or their national parks, and they say, walk barefoot, go for a hike, hug a tree. And it sounds silly. I'm not going to hug no tree. Okay, don't do it. But you could reap a lot of benefits from all of that being in nature, which is where we're meant to be, not locked in a school system. Young kids are meant to be out in public, right? Running around, not sitting at a desk, right? It's also school is almost set up like a jail if you really think about it. You go sit down, do what you got to do, don't talk. There's one right answer, only one right answer. That's it. You get a little bit of a lunch break, then you go back to your class, you sit down, you have a little bit of playground, run around, then you have to go sit back, you have to sit still. You're not meant to sit still. Kids are not meant to sit still. None of us are meant to sit still. We're
How
not.
did how did you perform in school? Were you a good student?
I just passed all my tests, I would say, if that's the question you're going at.
See, because the common argument I would say people will give to what you said is oftentimes they'll say that, oh, it's only the people who, and I actually to a level agree with you.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like it has more merit to it
Okay.
because what people will say is, well, it's the underperformers who will make that argument, and they're only salty because they didn't do well.
I mean, listen. Props to the people who are smart. If you're born smart or you put hard work in, you could definitely be smart. But the people who are not smart, they're just not smart at school, and that's okay because there's other things out there that they could be smart at. Totally okay. I mean,
Right.
look, you got farmers, right? You could put farmers in that category. I'm not saying that all farmers are stupid. I'm not saying that at all. But if not for farmers, then what? What about truck drivers? You don't go to college to be a truck driver. You take a couple courses, what have you. You know, you're a truck driver. Full truck drivers stop. America doesn't run. You're not getting your produce.
Right.
So the people who didn't do well, you still could definitely make a living, and there's still definitely there's a calling for you out there, even if you're lost. And even in the job right now that you're in, for example, you're in a really interesting spot where you could definitely elevate and definitely get something that is like here, you know, which is great. Not bashing your job. You have a great job. You have a very, very good job. But I mean, people, you could, there's, everyone could always elevate and always go up to the next level, you know? And especially if you're a good person as you are, and if you're very talented and respectful, you could easily move up easily.
Thank you, and I agree with you, by the way. See, he's not a racist, guys. Um,
Nah,
I know
nah,
you're not. No, you're not.
nah.
But you should be a comedian, which is something
I've
you should
heard of that
definitely.
before. A lot of people tell me that. My mother tells me that all the time. My friends tell me that all the time.
You should try it. It's
I don't
definitely
know.
something you should
I don't
do.
know. People
Your girl's
get the
calling you.
no, actually, my cousin's calling me actually, but it's okay. I'll talk with him later. But yeah,
It's something you should try. I think you have that skill for it.
we'll see. I just don't want to offend people at the end of the day because everyone's like all softies nowadays. Gotta watch what you say, you know. But who knows?
Not on this podcast. You can say whatever you want.
For now,
You should watch him stand up. You should watch stand up. You should watch. You don't even know who Joe Rogan is.
no idea who Joe Rogan is.
That's crazy.
No,
I hope that's going to be something that people see and they're going to be like, wow, you're 31. You don't know who Joe Rogan is. Fair enough.
I would just combat it. I would just come back and be like, "Do you know who Billy Graham is?"
I
Most
know
people
who
don't know him.
I
Look
know
him
who
up.
Billy Graham is.
Of
I
course you do.
maybe the audience won't, depending on how young they are. But you're only
Depends.
31.
Yeah.
But I wanted to. I mean, we kind of. Are you ready to answer the question about lessons women have taught you?
No, they could definitely teach you things. I mean, I've learned a lot. I mean, the last relationship I was in, I actually, she helped me a lot. She wasn't obviously the girl for me at all. It was definitely fun, the best relationship out of all of them, but it was very worldly oriented, you know? And I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. But I mean, I got a new phone. She went for surgery, and I said, you know what? I've been putting off a surgery. I said I'm just gonna get it done. I got a deviated septum, which everyone's saying, oh, that's not a surgery. Yes, it is. Anyway, but she definitely pushed me in the right direction to better a lot of things in my life, and I'm forever grateful for that. Even though, yeah, it didn't work. You know, like she's not. I'm still not with her, obviously. But I really don't wish bad upon anyone. To be honest with you, I might not like certain things that some of them did, but it is what it is. You know.
So you preached a lot about kind of like being devout. So I have to ask, and obviously everybody makes mistakes. Um, you mentioned that some of the girls you dated were worldly.
Mhm.
So does that mean that, for example, and you used examples like they like to party, go out and drink, they have sex on the first night. Have you been entangled in that life as well?
I've not been in the party scene because it's not what I do. I don't think I've ever been drunk in my life, to be honest with you.
Very
I mean
cool.
I make beer bread from Trader Joe's. I mean that's the most type of alcohol I'll ever buy. But no, I wouldn't say no. I would say I was not entangled. I definitely had opportunities to do that, but if I would have jumped on those opportunities back in high school, I wouldn't be where I am today, you know?
Okay. So a lot of, I mean, obviously a lot of young people in the States, they get into that life. What advice would you give to them? Because it's almost impossible to avoid. I mean, I don't drink either, but
Mhm.
it's almost impossible to avoid that kind of stuff. So what advice would you give to kind of people who are like 21, 22, 23 years old, who are like in college and that is just all they're seeing and it's what happens in college dorms and whatnot. What would you?
Absolutely. I would say pick up your cross and follow God. And a lot of people are going to laugh at that and they're going to say, oh, he's too religious. Oh, he's too this, too that. Not really, because if you put your trust in him, doors open, things happen. And not to always constantly keep bringing it back to God. And you're going to be like, oh my God, all Dan did was talk about God. But if you don't, I mean, if you don't have him in the center of every single thing that you're doing, you're bound to fail, you know? So for example, this is great. The last girl that I was dating with, we're just going to go with the letter B, right? We'll just say that, right? So
Oh,
she was great.
she's not on, you can't say the full name.
Not really.
Brianna?
No.
Okay. I won't keep trying.
Brianna was a Christian girl from before in high school. Great girl. But she's actually
Man,
married. She
a lot
lives
of
in Georgia, I
girls.
think.
A lot
But
of
I don't know.
girls. Gangster Danny. A lot of girls.
Not a lot. Some. But I mean, oh, what was I gonna say? You got me thrown off now. What was I saying?
The lady with the B.
What about her?
I don't know. You were gonna say something.
You
You
were
were gonna
asking.
tell
What
it.
was
You're
the
gonna.
question you asked
You
me? See,
you
now you're
you were
making me look stupid on your
you
thing.
were.
Because
You're making it. You're. You know.
oh,
It.
right, I thought I could save her. I thought I could bring her to Christ. Thought I could like have her come around. Right, great girl, Italian girl. I mean, just like the whole nine yards. Everything that I wanted was like this girl. Until I took a step back and I was. Maybe it wasn't. And now I look back at it now, it definitely really wasn't. I invited her to church and she says, I'll go to you. I'm not going to go to your cult church. Second she said that, boom, that was like a big red flag. It was like, nah, you're not going to put it down like that. And just ever since after that, it opened my eyes to a lot of things because I would never bash anyone's religion, just because, okay, I'm Christian non-denominational. If you're not, I'm not going to bash you. I'd still be friends with you. You're still a cool person. Like I like to get to know whoever it may be. Just because we don't share the same belief doesn't mean that I can't I don't know. I mean, I definitely wouldn't marry someone that wasn't my same belief, which leads into this new girl now that I'm dating, which is really, 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 really nice because this is the first girl ever that has been my same belief, I would say.
So you're dating Muslims and stuff.
No.
It was Eid yesterday. Did you know that?
What are your intentions with my daughter? No, you gotta cut that out. You gotta cut that out. That is not going in. I'll be very mad if that goes in. You go ahead and say it was Eid yesterday. Start again.
It'd be so funny if it
It'd
wasn't.
be so funny, man. It would be so funny, but I don't know. I don't want to make people mad. Whatever. Go ahead, continue.
Anyway, so yeah, so this is the first girl that you dated who is the same exact faith and belief as you.
Yeah, besides the girl from the storm, I would say. But this was really on the same direction that I'm intending to live my life. And it's nice to be with someone who is perfect, equally yoked, right? And I'm gonna butcher this up because I didn't pay attention in school. There's the Erie Canal, right? The canal, right? And you go bull on one side or a bull or a mule or whatever they called them, right? With a rope, right? So they're pulling both going in the same direction. But if you date not on the same accord, right? So I'm going to date a Muslim, right? Who's going this way? Where'd the hand go? I don't know. And then you're dating a Catholic and you're going this way. Where'd they go? So you're pulling apart. And I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm not saying that, but that's not the way it's meant to be. You're supposed to be in one accord going in the same direction. That's truthfully, personally, what I believe. I'm not saying the people that are out there that have different views and religions, I'm not bashing any of them. But for me and my personal belief, it was nice to find someone who I can be and am equally yoked with, and we're both going in the right direction with the same goals, same intentions in mind. And I think that's very important.
So you don't believe it can't work. You just believe that there's an ideal and that's the ideal. Is that what you're saying?
That's a good question, and I've mixed thoughts about it. However, when I rely on my own understanding, I say, yeah, anything could work. Yeah, it could work. But
Okay.
if you look at the Bible, and if you want to because that's the truth, right? That's
Well, I mean, people, I mean, I don't know. We're talking about the Bible, but there's the Quran,
of
there's,
course,
and I haven't read all religious texts, but
no, of
it's,
course,
but in the context of you, we're talking
right.
about the
I
Bible, which is
personally
really
believe going in the same accord, the same direction with keeping God in the center. I think that's very important because I've never had a relationship that God was in the center of. I mean, He was a part of it, but we were sleeping together or we were doing things we shouldn't do or whatever. But this is the first time where it's you know what? I really don't want to mess this up. I really see a future with this one. So hopefully that happens. And it's nice to be on the same accord, like I was saying. So we'll
okay.
see.
It's very good. I want to circle back a little bit because when I asked this question, you kind of attribute it to being the end of times. The reason
Hmm.
why people aren't as into, or they the Hollywood is preaching kind of satanic, some would say satanic principles, and
Yep.
people aren't as into religion as they used to be, and you
Right.
kind of attributed that to being at the end of times. Does
Hmm.
that What do you believe comes next? What do you believe? Is there a way to turn it around? That this is just off your belief and what your idea
No,
is.
nope,
So we're all doomed.
no, we're not doomed.
Okay. So
I'm
what
not
do you
saying we're
believe?
doomed, but there's no way to turn it around. That is not going to get turned around. It's only going to get worse.
So what comes
But this is
after?
where the good news comes in, right? Because
Okay.
Jesus died and rose again. He's coming back, right? So are you one of those people who will be saved? And then there's the tribulation and the people, who like the Muslims, they're going to be like, what's going on, And then but then Jesus comes through the clouds and then the trumpet sounds and then they're there and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, like it was right, you know? So
Interesting. All right.
very interesting.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll
But
see what happens.
but it's definitely interesting. I want
Definitely
to
interesting. I would recommend looking into David Jeremiah. He's an older preacher. I really like what he has to say. I'm a bigger fan, however, of Billy Graham because he says it straight from the Bible, and there's no sugarcoating stuff. You cannot understand anything, and you could be dumb as anything. You put Billy Graham on, it just makes sense. It's just something that's just night and day, and I don't know. That's helped me a lot listening to his sermons and stuff.
very good. I want to touch on this as well because we did talk about the healthcare system. We talked about medicine and how you said that doctors are drug dealers essentially because of how much prescription.
Listen, 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 listen.
I'm giving you context.
Right, you give me context. There's some,
In terms
and
of
listen, there's definitely some that want to help people. And I mean, for example, I've been to a lot of ENTs because I had to get this surgery done. 8 out of 10 of them said that it's anxiety and it's crazy and I'm nuts. Well, guess what? I had the surgery done and I knew it wasn't. I knew it was something because I had a hard time breathing and I had it done. And guess what? I'm 80% better. I knew something was up. You're just finding the right person who genuinely cares, who's willing to treat you and willing to get you better and not keep you as a repetitive person coming back and back and back and back.
yeah,
That's what it comes down to.
I want to touch on that a little bit because younger people
Hmm.
tend to be suffering a lot from anxiety and depression nowadays. A lot
Hmm.
of people, some people attributed that to technology and always being on social media and on their phones.
Hmm.
Do you share that belief?
I think everyone's different. If you want my honest opinion, it could be a traumatic experience. It could be my girlfriend cheated on me, my boyfriend did this, my family member said this, a situation. It could be anything. And I mean, it could stem from anything. But at the end of the day, if you're rooted in Christ and you hold on to His promises, I'm not saying you're never going to have anxiety. I'm not saying that, but the chances of that being prolonged for that long, I don't believe it. Me personally, I don't believe it.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. I suffer with anxiety. I did. I definitely did. And maybe I still do a little bit, to be frankly honest with you, here and there. Excuse me. But just I would just say just do the right thing. Go to good doctors, eat healthy, try to get out in the sun as much as you can, try to move as much as you can.
Gotcha. And so we've talked about that. So I want to move on to holistic medicine because I know that you're big into
Sure.
that, on the contrary to what kind of is the mainstream here in the US. So if
Mhm.
you kind of talk about when did you start looking into holistic medicine and why are you such a big believer in that?
In high school, because I always had stomach problems. I wasn't going it's not like, oh, I had to run to the bathroom or anything like that, but my stomach always bothered me. And been to a bunch of what are they called? Gastroenterologists, I guess, or whatever. If that's the right word, I don't remember. But you're gonna drink radioactive eggs. You're gonna go for CAT scans. You're gonna go for MRIs. You're gonna go all this crazy stuff. And I did some of the things. I didn't do all of them. Um, and nothing was working. I was trying medications. Nothing worked at all. And I said that I'm suffering. My stomach's bothering me. I can't. There's times I couldn't even leave the house. I'm like, this is just not normal. So I dug deep into the medical world, and I highly recommend that everyone should do that. Even if you're not into it, just give it a try. You never know; it could just be an easy fix, an easy something. And for me personally, um, it was ginger, and I made ginger tea nonstop. I put ginger, just shave it off and just chop it up and just toss it in some chicken or whatever you want, and that goes in and heals the gut lining. And just like if you're nauseous, have some ginger. Also, if you're nauseous too, you cut an onion in half, put half under your armpit, half under the other armpit. Yes, it's weird, but it works. Within a matter of like 4 minutes, you won't be nauseous anymore. I mean, you feel a cold coming, you could do certain things. I mean, my personal favorite drink that I usually like to make is ginger, turmeric, black pepper, and honey. You mix that together, it's just like a big hug on the whole body, like on the inside. Like it's just something special, Like, and it's nice, and you and your body knows when you're eating good food.
Yeah, that's interesting because some people might call you crazy for what you said, because, but
Absolutely,
that is a
yeah.
because I'm Haitian, obviously. So
Wagwan brethren.
that's Jamaica, you dummy.
It's okay.
Wagwan. Um,
Wagwan.
but that's Jamaica. No, I'm from Haiti. And
Okay.
that's in the Caribbean in general. That's a
Mhm.
big practice, holistic medicine, and a lot of things you've said with
Absolutely.
ginger and whatnot.
St. Lucia is great to get sea moss from. Never got it from there. I was talking to a girl at one point, and she had her family there, and I never mustered up I guess the guts to question, say, hey, get me some sea moss. But if you could get your hands on that stuff, that's great. Dr. Sebi, everyone says it differently. Once you open your mouth, you get shot though, or something happens, or they kill you or something. And it's funny, but it's not funny because it's what happens. So that's why I don't really want to get into it too much on here, but
Well, go with a good tour guide.
go do research. I mean, 9 out of 10 times your doctor's not going to help you. And
How often do you keep active? Are you like keep yourself physically fit?
I
Because
bike ride a lot. Love bike riding. Love bike riding.
cardio,
I think
okay,
that's great for the heart, the legs, the arm, just the whole body in general.
gotcha.
I don't
Yeah,
really go to the gym,
you should.
but I should.
Should.
If I had a gym buddy, I go to the gym. No one goes with me.
Okay.
If you'd finished looking like a string bean, maybe you and me could go together. But
Did
we'll
did you see
not
my
look like
Did you see my
what?
Instagram? You saw my Instagram picture.
You saw my Instagram picture. I have my shirt off. You can see my titties. I know. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's okay.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Well, God made that body.
That he did.
But you're so ridiculous.
You better edit that out.
But okay, so we've touched on holistic medicine a little bit. Let's talk about conspiracy theories because we've
Sure.
talked about everything. You're a big conspiracy theorist. What are some of your bigger beliefs and why do you believe them?
So I'm not big into conspiracy theory, but I definitely take interest in it. The government's not here to help you. Government will never help you. Um, you got to do what you got to do in certain situations. If and when the grid goes down, how are you going to provide light? How are you going to provide heat for your family? How are you going to provide food? So I believe that a pretty basic understanding of what to do in those scenarios, if and or when the grid were to go down, when everyone's freaking out and running around like crazy, you'll have a little bit of peace for you'll just have an advantage above a couple of other people, I would say, or just if you could help out people, if you can, try to. So I find all that very interesting personally. I follow a bunch of those groups on Facebook. Actually, I'm not really that active on Facebook, to be honest, but if and when I go on, um, I do show pretty much interest into it. But there's definitely an extreme side of it, and there's low to moderate, and I would say I'm probably around moderate. I mean, I don't do anything crazy, but some things I do.
All right, we'll keep it to that since you don't have any too many strong beliefs on that. But
Yeah,
did want to at least touch on it.
yeah.
And also, you're a car guy. So when did you
Big
get into
car
cars?
guy.
When did you
Big
get
big
into
car guy.
cars?
Um, Ever since I was young, my dad took me to car shows. The Nathans down the block over here, they used to have a car show all the time when I was young. We always used to go there. I believe it was every Thursday or every Friday night, and it was great. And the car scene has definitely changed, but back in the day, it's the highlight of the week. I would say it's great. Always into cars, pulled engines out of cars. I did any type of work on family cars, friends' cars. Still do that. I mean, you could drive by my house. You'll probably see I'm probably under a car. I mean, I was always doing work on them. I mean, it's fun. I really enjoy it.
So you're multi-talented. You work on cars, you do photography, you do a few things actually.
A few
So
things here and there.
what
Yeah.
what's the coolest car you've worked on in your opinion?
Ford Crown Victoria. Probably the most easiest car to work on though, but that was one of my cars. And that's hands down, I don't want to say the best car, but the most funnest car that I've ever had out of all of them because that car was a tank and you could, any obstacle, any task, it was capable of doing. And you don't find cars like that.
Are you a luxury car guy? Not in terms of like, just in terms of like
No,
looking
to
at
be
them.
honest with you, I like the big old grandpa cars. I like the big old Mercury Grand Marquis, Crown Victorias, the Toyota Avalons. I like all of the big body, heavy, big type cars.
Gotcha. And so, you're 31 and you
Hmm.
put all your belief in God.
Hmm.
Do you ever catch yourself thinking about what God has planned for you for the future, or do you not think about that? You just let him kind of do his work.
Truthfully, I would say I more let him do his work. But as of recently, to be completely honest with you, um, not to bring this girl back into it again, but I've seen things and experienced things that I've never seen, experienced, and or felt before. And I really feel that it is the right direction that I'm going in, and I see a nice future ahead. I just need to stay on the straight and narrow path because it's so easy to get thrown off and do rely on my own understanding, what I think is right. You know what I want to do. That pleasure that you have part time in doing whatever you do or whatever. But when you put your trust in Him, I mean, I can't even explain it. The joy you have. It's just so. I really I would say I if I had to put a number on it, I'd probably 90% rely on him and probably 10% of my own understanding, which the goal at the end of the day is to put 100% trust in him. And I think I'm getting there, but you still feel like you're in control. I could do it. Oh, I could handle this. Oh, I could do this. I could do that. You could, but if you got him on your team, I mean, if he's guiding your life, I mean, you can't fail. I really truly believe you can't fail.
Who are some of the most influential people in your life?
You.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Who are the most influential people? Definitely my father and my mother, I would say. I look up to them both every single day. Close third, hands down, would be Joe Bonzo from the Oak Ridge Boys. He one of the nicest people I know. I mean, my friends. I would say my friends. Uh, my good buddy Victor. He's actually the scrap metal guy, and I do stuff with bikes. And I'll if I have certain bikes I don't like or whatever, and he'll come by, and everyone is like, "Why are you friends with him? He's just a scrap metal guy, but he's got the nicest heart." You know, like it's just people. There's certain people that like you just look up to, and it doesn't matter. Again, your job doesn't matter, car doesn't matter, where you live doesn't matter. It's how you treat people. You know, and people remember that. You know,
Are you a big community service person?
no. You weren't expecting that, but no. I mean, listen. To be granted. To be honest with you, I mean, I was driving the other day, and this guy, he was an older dude, and he was trying to jumpstart his car, and he had the cables on the wrong way. And I said, "I'm so tired, I just want to go home." And I drove a block. I'm like, "Nah, I gotta turn around and help him out." So I turned around, and helped him out, and whatever. So I try to help out if I can with certain things, but giving back to the community per se, no. I'm not gonna lie. You want me to sit here and lie? You should come on the Comcast, tell the truth. You want me to lie to your viewers? Then that's not telling the truth.
Yes. Oh, you gotta be a good person. Or what? Do you do anything to help others? How about
Yeah,
that? There you
I
go.
do things to
That's
help
a
others.
that's a better way to ask the question.
Absolutely. Treat people with respect. Be kind to people. Be nice to people. For example, the guy in Stop and Shop, let's say, the guy that does that takes the wagons back, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, he's just whatever people would think. Oh, it's a low worker, low job, whatever." No, it's not. He's just as important as you are. I don't care if you're the manager of a big company. I don't care if you're freaking President Trump. You know, I mean, you're a person at the end of the day. You know.
Do you think you see a lot of that, like people not respecting people based off of what they
Absolutely. And
you
it's a
see?
disgrace. And it's a big disgrace. And that's another reason why I'm not with my ex girlfriend, because you need to be respectful to everyone. If you're out to dinner with someone, you're respectful to the people who serve you the food or whatever. Oh, this and that, whatever. They're people at the end of the day. Who cares? Who cares what they're doing with their life? They're people. They're trying, you know? They're trying to make an honest living. They're nice to you, be nice to them. And if they're not mean, if they're mean to you, still be nice to them. You know?
What did your ex-girlfriend do?
Next question.
She's your ex-girlfriend.
She is. But she still probably follows me on things and's probably gonna get around to seeing this. And I don't
What's the
know if I
worst?
really necessarily want that.
Fair enough.
Yes. I'm on a podcast. I'm on a podcast.
Well, we got through a lot of the things that I wanted to discuss, but I guess we'll go with this. Well, are you gonna tell me your worst girl story?
Sure.
We've mentioned it throughout the podcast, but we've never
Sure.
like dove into one
So Daniel
situation.
absolutely loves Italians, Greeks, and Latinas. Why? Don't know, but I do. Okay. So the worst was this Latina girl. She was really nice. She was actually started off as my friend, and then we started dating. Really nice. Brought around my family. My family liked her. Really sweet girl. I was cooking barbecue. She was over. We were like, we were not necessarily cooking together because I don't think she knew how to cook, which is whatever. But really nice girl, and we we're just hanging out. It was nice, and then we went back to her place one day, and I was over her like apartment a couple times, whatever, and it was weird. Um, she actually might see this, so like I don't know if I want to, but it's fine. So we were walking to her apartment, whatever. And she's getting the mail, whatever. And there's a guy, and she's like, "Oh, she's like, that's so and so." I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Say, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? All right, whatever." We get in the elevator, and she tells me, she's like, "Oh, I slept with him." I'm like, we're dating." I'm like, "What do you mean you slept with him?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I slept with him." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right." We go upstairs, whatever. She puts the key in her little door thing, right? She goes into her apartment. And the dude's like, "Hey, what's up?" Right? She's like, "Hey, whatever." And they're talking, chatting it up. I think nothing of it, whatever. We go in her apartment, right? She's like, "Oh, I slept with him too." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right." And then we wound up ordering Greek food from Astoria, which was pretty cool. And they delivered it to her place. And it was really good. And I kind of want to know where she got it from. We don't really talk anymore, but it's fine. Um, but delivery guy came, and I think she was in the other room, whatever, in the kitchen, whatever she was doing. And I got the door, and her neighbor was there. And he's like, "Oh, where's so and so?" I'm like, "Inside." I'm like, "What's your name?" Whatever. He told me his name. I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "All right, talk to you later, bud." Whatever. And came back inside. I said, "Yo, so and so says what's up." I slept with them too. I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "All right." And then we uh we actually did sleep together before all of that stuff went down. So it's a good chance it probably would have happened that day too. And I wound up taking the train to her place because I didn't feel like driving because she actually lived in Jackson Heights. And we're not going to put my opinion in on Jackson Heights, but it's a nice place. And she's like, "Oh," after we ate, she's like, "Oh, just come in my room." And I'm like, "I know the direction this is going in." I'm like, "No." And so we turn on a show on her like TV, whatever, some girly show, whatever. And then she starts taking her clothes off, and I'm like, "Yeah, no." I'm like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." So I went into the bathroom, and I called my dad. I'm like, "Dad," I'm like, "Listen," I'm like, you gotta come and get me." I'm like, "I can't do this." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in Jackson Heights." He's like, "What are you doing in Jackson Heights?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm with so and so, whatever." He's like, "I'm not getting you. I'm tired." I'm like, "All right." So I called up my mom. I said, "Ma, you gotta get me." "I'm not getting you." Okay. So I called up my brother. I'm like, "You gotta get me. I'm not getting you." Okay, so I called him my cousin. My cousin will do anything for anyone. I called him up. I'm like, "Listen," I'm like, "Are you busy now?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm at home. I'm about to go to bed." I'm like, "Listen, like, I'll pay you whatever you want." I'm like, "I'm in a stupid situation." I'm like, he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Not really." I'm like, "Can you just come get me?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in Jackson Heights." "Jackson Heights?" I'm like, "Yeah, please." I'm like, "Listen," I'm like, I'm in this, I got to get out of here." Like, all right. So he lives in Long Beach, and the trip out there probably takes about, I'd say maybe about 40 minutes or so. Boy got there in 20 minutes. Don't know how that's possible. Um, Wound up telling the girl that my cousin, whatever, something happened in the family, whatever. He broke up with the girlfriend or whatever the scenario was. And she felt bad. And then she's like, oh, okay. She's like, you could go. Like, she's like, I'll see you like next week. I'm like, yeah, not going to happen. But I didn't say that, but that's what I said in my mind, you know. I'm like, okay. And then I left. And that's when it kind of just put things into perspective that like I can't be with these girls from the world. Like I can't do it because if you're fucking this one and that one and that one and this one and you're doing the janitor and then you're doing the super and then oh the dude that takes my garbage, oh you got Johnny on the fourth floor, Eduardo on the eighth floor. It's like what the heck's going on? So like I can. It's just I can. And that bounces back to my last relationship too. We were out to dinner actually. We'll go with the letter B again. We were out to dinner and it ended and I broke up with her because we were out to dinner about a week after I got my nose done. I didn't have clearance to drive, none of that. She's like, hey, let's get food. I'm like, whatever. So we got to get food really nice and the date's coming to an end, whatever. We spend time together and like, so what do you have planned after this, right? Because I'm thinking, oh, maybe come back, we'll watch TV, hang out, what have you, spend time with my family, with like each other, whatever. She's like, I'm going home to so and so. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was pretty familiar with who her friends was. We dated for a little while, not for long, for a little while. I'm like, oh, who's this? She's like, oh, he's my friend. Okay. So what are you guys gonna do? Oh, probably watch a movie and cuddle. You're gonna watch a movie and cuddle? She says, yeah. So, okay. So I went to the bathroom. I put water on my face. I'm like, God, what do I do? I just leave. So I'm like, okay. So as you see in the movies, they got that like little hole in the window, like with the little window in the bathroom, and you slip out. Fortunately, there was none in the bathroom, but it was fine. I thought that would have been cool, but I wouldn't have done that. But on the way back, walking over to the table, I went over to the yeah, way back. On the way walking back over to the table, I spoke with the waiter guy. I'm like, hey, can we get the check? He's like, oh, yeah, everything okay? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm like, can I just get the check, please? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guy comes out with the check, bop, puts it on the table. I'm like, you take care. I'm like, I'll talk to you later. Boom. And that was that. I don't deal with people who lie. Don't deal with people who cheat. Don't deal with any of that stuff. I run my business that way. I only work with straight up and honest people. I only date straight up and honest people. I only have friends who are honest and nice and kind. And I can't I can't do the worldly girls anymore. I just can't do it. And anyone that's in that situation, yeah, it's fun. I get it. I mean, yeah, I understand, but it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And in the long run, it's not worth it. And yeah, it might be working for you now, but down the road, is she gonna be a good mom to your kids? No. She wouldn't have been a good mom to my kids. You know, is he gonna be a good man for you? You know, who if it's a girl watching this, what have you? You got to ask yourself these questions. Do you see yourself marrying this person? Oh, but I'm young. I'll be with other people. Tomorrow isn't promised. Be with the right people. You know, do the right thing.
So, off that note, so
Hmm.
you have the girl now. Obviously, I would assume with the belief system that you have, you want to get married and have children, correct?
I would love to one day. Absolutely love to.
So I want to loop in the loop in this little detail because I feel like in the US there's a lot of divorce and there's not a lot of people who actually come from two family households that stay together. I'm
It's
very
very sad. I agree. It's very sad.
yeah, so I'm very blessed. My parents have been together 30 years.
Mine as
So
well. 30?
so
I think mine too. That's actually pretty cool if I remember correctly. But yeah, been definitely been together for a while. It's a blessing to have a family together.
yes. So why do you think there is such a high rate of divorce that not a lot of people can come from that situation? And do you believe that contributes to kind of how the world is today?
100% because you're not putting your full trust and hope and faith in God. And God lead, guides, and directs you. And if you're doing it on your own, I mean, you might win, you might not, but the chances of it, you can't be sleeping with one person, sleeping with another one on the side, or like, you know, like sneaky and this and that. And so many people out there that do that. I had friends, which I'm not friends with anymore, thank God, who have a girlfriend, but they have like two more on the side, or like the girl she's dating or whatever has a husband, but on Snapchat it's some different situation, you know, with someone else, or like you know, it's sad. It's sad. So back again, my honest opinion is put God in the center of your relationship. And if you're in a worldly relationship again, introduce God into it. It'll change. Even if it's just a little bit, it'll change.
And to close off, what do you believe the responsibility of a father is to his child and also a husband to his wife and vice versa.
A leader, a leader, a protector. If you want to know the right answer to that, just look in the Bible. It tells you how to act. It tells you how to be. But you're the head, right? And I'm not saying that the woman is the tail. I'm not saying that. But the husband is to like lead, guide, provide, all that stuff. And I strongly believe in that. Yes, women can too. Women can lead. They can provide. They can show the way to go. But it's really the man's job to really like plow that, and then they follow per se. That's what I would say. But that's touchy and feeling. Everyone says like, "Oh, I'm not." Women don't submit to everything because then it takes into to a sexual level where people get thrown off with the whole. And that's not the context that I'm talking about. It's just you should submit to your husband. That's the right thing to do. You should trust him. And yeah,
We touched on a lot of things, and I love how it all kind of, circled its way back to God. You
for
said
me it does. For others, it might not, and that's totally okay. But for me personally, that's kind of how I roll. And that's how I like live my life. And I definitely fail. I'm by all means not perfect whatsoever. I have a lot of learning to do. Continue. I mean, it's a daily walk. Pick up your cross and follow me. That's what it says in the Bible. Deny self and follow him. And it's hard. Definitely, it's hard, and I definitely fail at times. But at the end of the day, if you put your full hope and trust in him, at least for me and my belief, I don't think you don't fail. You don't fail. You're not gonna win every situation. I'm not saying just because you have God, you're a winner and you get that job and you get that promotion and you get the car and you get the dream house and the dream girl and it's win 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 win. It's not like that. But when you have, it could be like that. But when you have him on your side, yeah, you're going to go through trials and tribulations and stuff, but the peace of God is with you. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're going through because you could fall back on him and he's there for you.
that's a good way to that's a good way to believe.
Yeah.
So tell the audience where we can find you on socials.
You're going to ask me one more question.
You want what you want another question?
One more question. I'm actually enjoying this.
I mean, don't you get like responsibilities like
I
dinner?
do have responsibilities. I definitely
Oh,
do. But
all right.
unless you don't have a question. If you don't have a question, then that's fine. I ain't trying to put you on the spot here.
We covered everything, but I can okay, so let's so where do you see yourself in 10 years? You're going to be doing stand-up comedy?
I don't think so. But I
Why
do
not?
want to say one thing for the younger generation, also the older generation too, who is single like yourself, which we need to find you a nice, hopefully a really, really nice woman, which we're going to get to eventually. And it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. But in finding the right person, just know where their heart is. Just know how they treat people. And I think that that's very, very important for all the people that are out there now who go on a dating app and get all those matches right away and oh, we're gonna sleep together, oh, we're gonna hook up or this or that, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's fun in it, I'm not gonna lie, it's fun and there's part-time fun in that, but it's not gonna fill that void that you have inside of you, of what you're yearning for and what you want. Yeah, it'll be part-time, it's pleasurable, it's fun, I get it, I understand, I've been there, I've done that. But find someone who will treat you right, who accepts you for who you are. And even if you don't, let's say, have your life together, even if you have an air conditioner that doesn't work, they got to love you for who you are. I mean, everything. Listen, it's true. They gotta accept you for who you are. It doesn't matter again how much money you make. Doesn't matter where you live. Doesn't None of that stuff matters. They gotta accept you for who you are. And if they do, hold on to that person. They believe in God. That's a massive plus. That's great. They'll ride out the storms with you. And I'm not saying the people that don't believe in God aren't going to ride out the storms with you. And I'm not saying you're going to fail if you don't have God. I'm not saying that. But with Him on your side, it's just no words. It's incredible. It's really incredible.
Oh, that's wise words of wisdom. And Dan, do you want to do this again? Maybe in person.
I would love to do this again in person, but I think the first and foremost thing we need to do is schedule a time to pop out that air conditioner and get you a new one.
All right.
That
Yeah,
little laugh.
let's
I
see. Let's see how many people comment about the AC, and we'll see if they want to replace it or not.
think we should tag Frigidaire because they're great. I think that they should sponsor you with an air conditioner.
We can get frigid air. We can get whatever iced tea you were drinking. We can get all of it. They don't plug them. They don't promote me.
They don't promote you. No, they
They
don't.
don't promote me. All right, well,
They don't. God promotes you though, but it's okay.
yes, he does.
Yes,
I'm drinking water, which is a lot healthier than iced tea.
most definitely. It's fancy water. You even do it with the little pinky up, which you make me question your.
My what? Question my what?
It's fine.
All right. Stay off my Instagram. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Tomasino, professional photographer. Do you have anything you're shooting
Yeah,
coming
I
up?
do. I actually have a couple shoot coming up. I have an engagement shoot, but they're already engaged. But I'm shooting like the party part of it. Um, and a couple of cool concerts coming up in the near future, which I'm looking forward to.
Very cool. Very cool stuff.
Yep.
All right. So, where can people find you on socials as I drink? This is fancy.
Listen, it's just it reminds me of like the French. That's what I was gonna say. Like you know how the
I'm
or whatever.
I'm French Canadian.
Like wee wee. You know, and like they drink the
Yes.
stuff. Like I don't know.
Haitians were colonized by the French. And
Interesting.
we
See,
hugged
I
it
never
out.
knew that because I never
Yeah.
paid attention in school. I never knew that.
They were the first independent uh, country for, or in terms of independent country for black people.
Interesting.
For those black people to claim their independence.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Learned something new today.
There you go.
There you go. So where could people find me?
Yes.
Google my name. You can find my address. You can find all the whatever. I mean, no, but I mean, I hope not. But
Don't get yourself in trouble, man.
nah, I ain't in trouble. But where could they find me? I guess on my Instagram, which is dtphotographs.com. That's the best way to find me and check out my work and see what I do. Um, or my website, dtphotographs.com. Because I got confused because I recently had to change my email and I want to give you my email there. So it's dtphotographs.com, also where you could
There you
find me
have it.
too.
You find his work. Hopefully, you do stand up or you do some sort of religious
No
stand up.
stand up. Hopefully, evangelism. Evangelism and photography would be my ultimate dream come true.
All right. Well, maybe you can think about the stand up.
Think about it.
See, that means no. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Tomasino. Dan, this was fun. Thank you so much.
This was fun. I look forward to doing this again.
Beautiful.
Sapase.
Peace.
See you later.